Okay, so for this one, we are asked to find x-intercepts, y-intercept, and the vertex and graph. Okay, so let's start with x-intercepts. Those are probably the hardest. I'm going to take this and set it to where y is 0, because if the y value is 0, then that's where we're crossing x. So I'll go over here with it. Negative 3x squared minus 12x minus 9 equals 0. I'm going to factor out the negative 3. I could also divide everything by negative 3 on both sides. That would work too, but factoring's a little bit safer way to do it, so that's I'm going to show it. So taking out a negative 3, that's going to get that to be an x squared, and then it's going to flip both those signs to positive. So when I go negative times positive, I get back that negative. But this would have to be 3 times 4 to get that. And then go to that 3 times, and again, positive. And if you have trouble with that signs, and I definitely do, once you get to this line, just kind of distribute that back in your head and go, yeah, negative, negative, negative. Okay, cool, everything's good. Then from here, now we're in a pretty good spot to factor this. So the negative 3 it's not meaningful for finding the x-intercepts. It's going to be what actually stretches the parabola. But for this piece, we can just factor. And we're looking for what multiplies to be 3 and adds to be 4, so that's not too bad. X plus 1 and x plus 3. So if you can just get this thing out of your way, then this part turns out pretty okay. So we're going to have intercepts at negative 1 and negative 3. For our y-intercept, that's where we let x equal 0. So if I do that, then all of this stuff drops out, and I'm left with negative 9. So there's my x-intercepts. And then there is my y-intercept. And then lastly, it asks for the vertex. Okay, so we know vertex is, the x-coordinate is negative b over 2a. So let's figure that out. So the negative of negative 12 over 2 times negative 3. So there are, let me sneak down here with it so I don't run out of room. There are 1, 2, 3 negative signs, so my answer is going to be negative, and that is, I'm going to just write that as a 12 over 6, and now I can see that x is negative 2. Once I have the x-coordinate of the vertex, I can just take that, toss it back in here, and that gets me the y-coordinate that would go with it. So y equals negative 3, negative 2 squared, and then minus 12 times negative 2 minus 9. And that's some arithmetic. Okay, so let's see, this would be positive 4, and then, because that's 3 signs, there's 2 there, 1 there, so that'll be a negative. 3 times 4 would make 12. And then negative and negative makes plus 24 and minus 9. So it looks like y equals, that would be 12 minus 9, 3. So I think my vertex is at negative 2, 3. And let's see how I did over here. Oops, I'm back. X-intercepts, there's our negative 3, negative 1. There's our negative 9 for our y, and negative 2, 3 for our vertex. So if I'm graphing this, I would start at my vertex. X is negative 2 and y is 3. And we're there. And then you could either go to an x-intercept or the y-intercept way down there. But you can see the parabola does cross the x-axis at negative 1 and 3. Hopefully that helps.